stage, I would like to read out his summary. So, Ari's summary is, I will talk about some of the things today that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the Romans back then. So, now I'm going to give the stage to give the speech about Romans. So, may I invite Toastmaster Ari Jeffry to the stage. Roman influence in the world, Ari Jeffry.
Thank you, Zach. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And good evening.
Good evening.
Has any one of you here ever wondered why the things are the way they are today?
Yes.
Why cities like New York, for example, are built and planned out the way they are? Why and how the language and the alphabets that we use to speak in today came to be? Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, today I would like to talk to you about one of my favorite civilizations to read up on in my free time, the Roman civilization. Why specifically the Romans? This is because I believe they played a significant role in what makes our society more modern today. Now, a bit of a backstory before I explain on Rome. Rome, I'd say, had humble beginnings. According to a 2019 Encyclopedia Britannica article on ancient Rome, Ramsay McMullen, a professor of classics and history at Yale University, stated that Rome began as a simple tribal hut village. Then this village evolved into a kingdom ruled by kings. But then eventually, the people decided to remove the rulership of their kings due to his tyranny, and instead installed what came to be known back in the day as a consul. Due to this, the Roman Republic is formed, and a few centuries after that, the Roman Republic became the Roman Empire, which is one of the largest empires to exist in human history. And during its period came with it technologies, buildings and magnificent structures, language and literary works that are still seen and used today. During the reign of the Roman Republic to the reign of the Roman Empire, various types of technologies were developed, from farming techniques, meticulous city planning, to water management systems. One such example is the crop rotation technique in farming, invented by the Romans, according to a study by Oregon State University. Now, what crop rotation does is that different seeds are planted on the same land and in different years and seasons using a set pattern. Now, what this does is that it replaces the nutrients in the soil as well as reduce plant-specific pests that are present on land. Now, this technique is still being used in modern times, and food being abundant and nutritious is an essential part in what oils the engines of the modern civilization today. As you come to know today, more than half of the world's population lives in cities, according to a 2019 article on urbanization by Max Foser, an economist at Oxford University. But the concept of cities is not a new one. In fact, the Romans were one of the first civilizations to have mastery in planning their city right. Ancient Rome, in particular, is a thoroughly modern city, filled with apartments, magnificent buildings such as the Colosseum, and contained a sophisticated infrastructure that kept the city running. You can say that modern cities get their inspiration from how the Romans planned out the cities back in the day. And fun fact, the idea of a high-rise building is not a new one. In fact, the Romans were the first problem solvers for the lack of space in cities by building these multi-layered buildings that we come to know today as apartments. But back in the day, the Romans called it insula, according to a 2019 article by Annis Gale on ancient Rome apartments. You could say that cities would not be the same if it weren't for Rome. So great are the ingenuity of the Romans that structures and buildings built by them today are still left standing despite a few millennia. One such example is the Roman Aqueducts, which help supply the ancient city of Rome with drinkable water in huge quantities. And this technology operated by gravity alone, which is very interesting, and is still used in some of the modern cities today. One example is New York, where they use this Roman-inspired technology to to supply the city of New York with water, according to a 2016 Business Insider article on bringing water to New York. Among one of the most notable things that the Romans did to influence modern society is in the scene of literature. Without the Roman concept, poets, playwrights, and actors such as the likes of Shakespeare wouldn't be able to do his well-known Roman plays. And perhaps without his literary works, the knowledge of a culture and the tradition of a people or a language, in this case Rome, would not be passed down adequately and simply would be forgotten. Another thing that the Romans did was through their language, the Latin language, is one of the reasons why you and I right now are speaking English. Because the English alphabet derives much of its existence from the Latin alphabet, according to a 2018 article on the origins of the English alphabet. So I think the Romans, though a long distance away in time, impacts the way we're living in today in terms of technology, the buildings and structures they built, the language and the literary works they pass down. And I think they deserve a place in one of the things that makes our modern society or civilization achieve its modernity today. So with this, I hope that the Roman influence on the modern world is shown and the importance of history is also shown. Because without history, how would we understand our past? How would we understand how things are the way they are today? And some might say history repeats itself. How would we learn from the mistakes from our past? And with that ends my speech. Back to you, Josh.